Right, so the next part is actually taking this file and importing into Inkscape so that we can actually create a PDF that, that our laser cutter understands. So before I do that, I'm going to select all my components and I'm going to explode them all. So that this basically combines any lines that are one on top of the other. So if I delete this line, you'll see there's only one instance of that line. There's not one on top of the other. Once I've done that, I'm going to make it as so I can see my entire cut. And the next part actually requires either SketchUp Pro or an evaluation version of SketchUp, which has all its features enabled. Or there's also some plugins that will enable you to do this. I've played with a few of the plugins and they're useful, but I'm going to use the evaluation version of SketchUp to do this since I have one. I actually keep an evaluation version of SketchUp 2014 that I only use for this step. So I don't use up all its free trial period. So I'm going to save this file, save as. I'm going to call it the box cut file 2014. I'm going to save it in a 2014 version. So next, I can go into that folder and open it with SketchUp 2014. And as you can see, I have an evaluation version. I still have 7.5 hours that I can use SketchUp Pro 2014 with all its features. So it's telling me it's open in 2015. That's okay. There it is. So I'm going to take this Pro Eval. I'm going to say File, Export, 2D Graphic, and I want to export a PDF file. And I want to put it on my desktop, blog, video, and that's where I'm putting it. Export. And that's it. So I close down 2014 so I don't use up all its time. I can then go in here and I can open it with Inkscape. It'll pop up this pop-up asking me some settings. I'm just going to say OK. And once it's up, I can start editing this. Now the first thing is if I select this whole component, and I'm going to group it as one big component with Control G. When SketchUp saves it as a PDF, it doesn't actually save the dimensions. So if I change this to inches, you can see that Inkscape thinks that this bed area is actually 34 inches wide by 17 high. So first thing we have to do is we have to change that. So we're going to lock it so if I change one dimension, it'll change the other. I'll double click on this and I know the actual width of my bed is 24 and it automatically changes it to about 12, which is exactly what I want. Now I want all this image to be at the bottom right corner, so I'm going to say it's at the 0, 0 location, and now I'll move it down to the bottom right. Now my page is still too big, so I'm going to go into File, Document Properties, change this to inches, change the default unit to inches, and I'm going to say my whole document should be 24 inches wide by 12 inches high. And there we go. So we now have our file in Inkscape at the right location. Now I'm going to select on that entire group, and I'm going to hit Control-Shift-G to ungroup it, so I can delete some lines I no longer need. So I no longer need the 4 lines that are around that define the area of my test bed, or my cut bed. So I'm going to delete the top one, delete that one, delete that one, and delete that one. You can't see it because Inkscape actually puts a line around the size of the document. So next, if I do select all, you can see it's only selecting this area here. It means I've actually deleted all the lines around. So my laser cutter, or the one at the library that I use, it needs a specific line width in order to cut. So it'll cut any line that's exactly 0.001 inch thick. Anything else, it would raster or burn, so not cut. So I have to make all of these lines 0.01 inch thick. So I hit Control A to select them all. They were already selected. Go into Object, Fill and Stroke, and it'll appear here on the right if it's not already there. Now I'm going to say the stroke paint is on, and the stroke style, I'm going to change that to inches, is 0.001 and hit enter. And the lines almost seem to disappear. They're so thin. If I zoom out, you can't see them anymore, but if I zoom in, you'll see they're still there, which is what we want. Makes it hard to see, but that is what we want. And then we'll do File, Save As, and save it as a SVG. And then we'll do File, Save As again, and save it as a new PDF. And we'll call it box to cut.pdf. Now if I go back to my folder, if I open box to cut.pdf, you can see all our lines are there. And this is actually something that my laser cutter, the laser cutter I use, will actually understand and know where to cut. And that's it for that part.